Hey, 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 you guys, come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. Those of you that are new to my space, welcome, 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 welcome. My name is Beverly Walkower. I am a business strategist specifically for established Christian female coaches who desire to accelerate their income and their impact without compromising their Christian values. As you guys come on into this live, say hi, hello, hey, so that I can see all of you amazing people that are on here. Once again, whether or not you're joining us live, if you're joining us on the replay, type in hashtag replay, leave your questions, your comments, all that awesome stuff. And I will make sure that I get back to you guys as soon as I can. And so, you guys, this is not going to be a long live. It's a Friday. You know, I always say I'm not going to be before you long. And so, you guys, I just wanted to have this conversation with you guys. One of the things that I've been noticing, being in this space for as long as I've been in this space, and seeing so many amazing established Christian female coaches. And one of the biggest struggles that they're having is that consistency with their revenue. And so a lot of that has to do with your lead generation strategy. And so for a lot of you guys, the clients that you've signed, the 4 and 5 figure clients, because as an established coach, you generated revenue in your business. Like, that's not the thing. The thing has now become having that consistency and being able to, I like to say, knowing that when it comes to being able to sign clients, filling your programs, that you're able to have a system in place. Once again, your lead generation strategy, having that in place so that you have that consistency with your revenue. And I want you guys to be able to, whenever you're out there and you have a program that you're looking to fill, that, like I said, you have a way for you to do that. And so at this point in your business, if you're not able to fill your programs by either posting on social media or emailing your list, some of you guys, you speak and you're able to secure clients like that, or leveraging Messenger, like if that strategy is no longer working, or those tactics are no longer working for you, then we need to look at you having a reliable, that's what I like to call it, a reliable lead generation strategy. And so that's the part. And so you being able to have something that, like I said, when it's time for you to fill your program, whether or not it's a group setting, whether or not it's a course that you have, whether or not it's your one-on-one, you being able to have a strategy that you can implement, that you can use to be able to fill your program. And so if you don't have that, and once again, I feel like as an established coach, once again, you sold a 4 or 5 figure offer before, you have an audience, that once again, you need to have that reliable lead gen. And so, the past couple of days, I have been talking about challenges. And so what I love about technology, specifically Facebook, are Facebook memories. And literally over the past few weeks, my memories have been popping up. Hey, Cassandra, my memories have been popping up, and I'm seeing all of these memories from these challenges that I've done before. And literally this whole week, I'm like, okay, God. And so it literally hit me yesterday. And I was like, okay, God, I've never talked to my audience. I've never taught my audience how to do challenges. And once again, whenever I do challenges, they end up being 5 and 6 figure challenges. And I realized I never sat down and said, well, hey, those of you that desire to do a challenge, and like I said, challenges are powerful ways for you to have leads. And so the way that I do challenges, though, is a little bit different from the way that other people do challenges. And I know some of you guys are looking like, Bev, I've done challenges before and they haven't worked. Bev, doing challenges, that's a lot of work, that type of thing. But I want to talk to you guys about the strategies and the things that I do with my challenges that help to eliminate the overwhelm, the stress, and all of that stuff when it comes to challenges. And so one of the things that I'm always talking about when it does come to the challenges is, once you have your challenge set up, then once again, you have done the work. Like, you put in the foundational pieces. So now the other times that you launch a challenge, once again, all you're doing is tweaking what you've done before. So once again, the work is up front. And when you know how to do that work, and when you have a strategy and an outline and a process for doing that first or your next challenge, then once again, even that work for that one isn't as much, because you now have a process to follow, that type of thing. And so, like I said, for a lot of you guys, if the posting on social media, emailing your list, leveraging DMs and Messenger and all that stuff like that, if it feels like that is no longer yielding the clients like it used to, then like I said, it's because, and once again, that's usually how it goes. And so once again, Now you need a system in place to where, once again, you're now able to, whenever you put that thing out there, you're able to use it, get your ideal people in there, and then leverage that to be able to fill your programs. And so let's talk about a couple of things when it comes to you creating challenges. And one of the biggest mistakes that I see people making when it comes to them doing challenges. And so the thing is, when you do your challenges, you do it with the same mindset that you do when it comes to like doing a webinar or a master class. And it's not the same thing. Like, some of you guys are creating these challenges. If you've ever done a challenge, once again, you have the same mindset for a challenge as you do. Hey, you guys, you have the same mindset for a challenge as you do for a webinar or a master class. And it's not the same. The setup of it shouldn't be the same. The structure should not be the same. And I always say this, and I will always continue to say this. If you do a challenge, people should walk away with something. They should walk away with the result, because I want you to think about it. So if you do a 3-day challenge or a 5-day challenge or a 7-day, which I'm not a fan of the 7 days, but once again, doing the challenge that I'm going to talk to you guys about the differences and how long a challenge should be if you really and truly want it to be effective and impactful. And so what I want you guys to keep in mind is that structure of your webinar is going to make a difference. And so when you do, that the challenge is going to make a difference. And so once again, you want to go into your challenge with the mindset of, hey, I want my participants to experience a win. That's one mistake. That's one mistake that some people are making when they do their challenges. And so, Luciana said, I did a challenge and I ran it as an interview series. And the same thing. And so, Luciana, without me, I'm not sure of what that looked like and what that entailed. And so, like I said, we want to make sure that if you do a challenge, your challenge should be action oriented. People should take some sort of action. They should walk away with some type of win. And my thing is not just them having like a feel good experience. Like, they should walk away with information that they did not have before. They should walk away with information that they can actually implement if they choose. And so the thing with a webinar that people don't understand is I keep saying the webinar, when it comes to the challenge, when they walk away with that thing, and when you're designing that webinar, once again, when you're designing that challenge, you want to have that mindset of, well, hey, with the information that I gave them, technically they can do it on their own. Like, technically they can do it on your own. But your ideal client, and this is the key, once again, I'm talking about mistakes that people are making whenever they're trying to do their challenges. There we go. Okay, so Luciana said, okay, they got the information, but nothing they can easily implement, and that's the thing. And so once again, it's not even, and even when you think about easily implementing, one thing you want to keep in mind with your ideal client, if it is truly an ideal client, they're not looking to continue to spin their wheels. They're looking, so you know what? I've been trying to do this thing on my own. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I need some support. I need support with this. And so when you position, and when you know how to set up and structure your challenges, once again, when they see the information presented to them, and like I said, it's usually a new piece of information that they may receive, and they realize, you know what? This was the missing piece. The information that you gave them, this is the missing piece. And I know that if I implement this missing piece, that's going to make the difference. That's going to be something that's going to literally shift the trajectory of their business, their life, their career, however it is that you support your people. And so that, like I said, I'm talking about some mistakes that people are making when it comes to how they're structuring and how they're doing their challenges. And so, like I said, you want to have that mindset of them taking action. Like, you want it to be action oriented. You don't just want it to be where they're just sitting there and literally they're just listening to information and they're like this. Once again, even when I do webinars and master classes and stuff like that, I don't want my people just sitting there looking at me and I'm looking at them. No. And like I said, this comes from years of being a classroom teacher. And once again, you want to ensure that, once again, they have that information in their heads. They're like, you know what? Yeah, technically I could do this by myself, but I don't want to. I don't want to do this by myself. See that I see where I'm not taking that extra step and falling short. Yeah. And so, like I said, when it comes to that, and when you understand, when it comes to, the mistakes that you're making, and once again, the information that you give, because the one thing is you don't want to give too much information either. You don't want to give too much. And so there's that balance there. And like I said, that's one of the things that I'm going to show the people in the 5-day challenge that I'm doing. I'm going to show you that balance of not giving too much information, but once again, allowing for them to walk away feeling satisfied. And when I say satisfied, either satisfied with the fact that one, they have the information that they could possibly use for that next step, or feeling satisfied and them actually moving to the next step of whatever it is that you're upselling. That's the satisfaction that I'm talking about. And so, like I said, you don't want to give them too much information, because if you give them too much information, you're gonna be like, you know what? Hey, yeah, let me go, Luciana, let me go try this on my own. And if I can't do it, I'm gonna come back to you. And then they don't ever come back. And so, like I said, you want to make sure there's a fine line there of giving too much information. But like I said, also, because when I do challenges, they're paid. Period. At this point, as an established coach, you don't have to offer free challenges anymore. Even if you're doing webinars and masterclass and all that stuff, they don't have to be free. You have established yourself. You are an expert. You have sold services, programs, all of that stuff. Once again, you do not have to give it away for free, but you better keep in mind that if you are going to offer a paid challenge, just like I said, you even if you do something free, it shouldn't be mess. You don't ever put mess associated with your brand. You don't ever want people walking away like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just spent my time with that. I can't believe I just invested my money with that. You don't want them to have that type of mindset. So with this with your paid challenge, once again, there's some differences. Like I said, there's some nuances that are a part of a paid challenge. So you want to ensure, well, hey, Ben said you go do a paid challenge, you just slap a price tag on there. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. And so, like I said, we're going to walk through that process to make sure that you're not making those mistakes when it comes to how you're looking at your challenges, how you're setting up your challenges. You don't want to do that. And the powerful piece is the framework that I'm going to give you guys during the 3-day challenge, the 5-day challenge that we're doing, or that I'm doing, the framework that I give you, you're going to be able to put it on repeat. So anytime that you do a challenge, once again, you will have the framework that you need. And I always talk about this. So once again, if you're doing this challenge, so whether or not you decide to do the challenge once a month, whether or not you decide to do a challenge once a quarter, you will have a framework that you can put on repeat. And anytime you need to fill a program, you can leverage that. And so this is the key piece too. This is another mistake as well. And so when you have a challenge and you position it correctly and you have it set up and structured correctly, then you don't have to post on social media every single day for lead gen. You don't have to email your list every single day for lead generation. You don't have to be in Messenger every single day for lead generation. You see what I'm saying? Like when you have that reliable lead generation source, something like a challenge, and once again, a challenge is just one thing, but something like a challenge. And like I said, the reason why I prefer challenges over doing webinars and over doing master classes and stuff like that is because, like I said, the way that people set those up, people are literally just sitting and getting and listening to information. But once again, with a challenge is a way for them to get to see your personality, a way for you to interact and engage with them so they can see what it's like to be coached by you, all of that stuff, if you set up your challenges correctly. And so then it ends up being a no-brainer for them to move forward, because they're like, well, dang, if we did this in as little as 3 days or 5 days or 7 days, however long your challenge is, then imagine what it would look like to work with her 8 weeks or 90 days or 6 months or however long your program is. That's how you want to have it positioned. That's how you want your challenge to be positioned to them in such a way to where they're like, well, shoot. And like I say, literally, if you have your challenge set up correctly by about day 3, they should be asking you about whatever's next. They should literally be asking you, how do I work with you? Luciana, what's going to be the next step? Rakita, what's the next step? Like literally, they're going to be asking you. And so that's what I mean. If you have your ideal clients, the right ideal clients inside your challenge, that's how it should be. So once again, if you have a $2,500 program, or if you have a $5,000 program, and that's what's going to be your upsell and your challenge. And once again, say for instance, in your challenge, you have 50 people, 50 ideal clients in your paid challenge, 50 ideal clients in your paid challenge. And you're like, okay, my next cohort for my program, I want to have 10 people in that cohort. If you are able to get half the people to show up, because once again, if your challenges are set up correctly, you should have about a 40 to 70% show up rate every single day. if you know how to set up your challenges correctly. Literally, when I do challenges, I have more people that are on my challenge at the end of the challenge versus the first couple of days of the challenge. Once again, it's all in that marketing, all of that piece. I'm telling you, when you know how to set it up, that makes a huge difference. So just imagine if you now have 25 people, or if you had 30 people that were tracking with you over those 5 days, 3 days, 7 days, however long your challenge is. And once again, you only need 10 of them for your program. And so imagine doing that once a month. So for once a month, let's just say 5. We'll say 5 because that's halfway between 3 and 7 that I keep mentioning. Say, for instance, you do a 5-day challenge. And once again, you do that challenge once a month. So this is how you can do. This is literally, if you have the challenge set up correctly. If you have it set up correctly, you can promote your challenge for 2 weeks to get the people in there. You run the challenge for that 5 days. And once again, I'm just going to use the number 5. And say, for instance, you need the 10 people in there for the $2,500. Let's just do conservative $2,500. That's now your $25,000 week. You now have a $25,000 month. And if you do that every single month in your business, you know at least you're going to do a minimum of $25,000 every month. And that's just with your challenge. When it comes to the challenge and the other content that you put out. So in between the times where you're not running a challenge, or say, for instance, you got your $5,000 program, it's a 90-day program. And so you're looking to have, 10 people in that program. So you run that challenge, you get your 10 people in, you have your $50,000. So you're like, well, hey, I'm not going to run this again, for another 90 days. So you may not run a challenge again until 2 months later versus a month later. So now the content that you post in between, because it's like, well, I got all the people that I need for my program. And so now the messaging and the content that you put out there in between, you still have a conversation with your people. Because imagine what I just said. If you had 50 people on the low end, if you had 50 people in that challenge and 10 of them sign up for your program, that means you still have 40 ideal clients that are now in your audience. How do you nurture those people? Through your content. So your content, like I said, you don't have to post every single day, putting the post out there, trying to find the clients. You already have the clients already filled in your program because of your challenge. So now the content that you put out there, once again, it doesn't have to be every single day that you put that out there, but the content that you put out there, it still serves a purpose because you still want to nurture those people. And so if you have that content and it's set up correctly, you're going to notice, well, wait a minute, the next time you run that challenge, you're going to be like, well, wait a minute, some of the same people who were in the challenge the first time, they signed up for the challenge again. Why is that? You see what I'm saying? And so once again, when you know how to position that content, your messaging, I'm always talking about your messaging. If you know how to position that your messaging in between your challenges, once again, it makes it easier and easier for you to fill your challenges and fill your programs. Because people are like, well, Ben, where do the people come from? Where do the people come from? And so even with the challenge that I'm doing, I'm going to talk to you guys about where do you find the people to actually fill your programs. And this is going to be key. And I keep talking about this. I don't just want any old body in my challenges, period. The same thing with you. You don't want just any old body in there. You want your ideal clients. Well, Bev, how do I ensure that they're ideal if I'm just putting a link out there in order for them to sign up for my challenge? There's certain verbiage that you can put on the page for them to opt in, the sales page or the landing page. There's certain verbiage that you can put in there. There are things that you can have them check off. And once again, we're going to talk about all of this stuff of things that you can put into place, what we call think about gatekeeper type of thing, where things that you can put into place that will kind of be like, nope, if you don't meet this criteria, then this is not for you. And maybe you offer them a different solution outside of your challenge. And maybe that other solution will be something that can get them ready for them joining your challenge at a different day. Even the same thing, we're going to talk about the container that you put them in for your challenge. And we're going to talk about, because I've done challenges where I've kept them in my big Facebook group, and I've done challenges where I've separated them out and they've had a separate Facebook group. And I'm going to talk to you about the differences and how you leverage that. And if you have a separate Facebook group, how you can leverage that as another way to ensure that you have your ideal people in there. that type of thing. You see what I'm saying? So those types of things. So we're going to talk, you guys, I'm showing you all of the stuff once again that I use to be able to create the 5 and 6 figure challenges. I'm showing you all of that doing the challenges. So like I said, you walk away after our 5 days together with your game plan, with your framework, with your challenge framework. The 5 to 6 figure challenge framework is what I'm calling it. That's what you're going to walk away with at the end of this challenge, that type of thing. And so, like I said, we'll talk about ways to one structure to ensure that you have your ideal client. So that's why I use that example. Just imagine if every month, say for instance, you ran the challenge every month, and every month you got 50 of your ideal clients to sign up. So now those people are on your email list. So now you can have, consistent conversations with them in between challenges and all of that stuff. So once again, this is a powerful tool because remember, you want your ideal clients in there. And so we're going to also talk about, well, Bev, what do I do? What do I post? So on and so forth to get the people in there, because I want you guys to do this organically first until you found that sweet spot with your challenges. And then once you find that sweet spot, then the advanced level is running ads. And I'm not running ads directly to the challenge. It's a difference. So there's a strategy that goes with it. But now once you've gotten that sweet spot, then now you can run ads to it. And now you can amplify that thing and you have more people that are signing up for your challenges. So we'll talk about how to leverage that. We'll talk about how to leverage your email list. We'll talk about how to leverage other people's Facebook groups and LinkedIn and all of those things, Instagram. We're going to talk about all of those different things, how to leverage Messenger and all of that stuff to be able to get the right people in to your challenges. Some of you guys, you do challenges, you have 10 people signing up, and I'm like, ooh, so you only have 10 people signing up, and then you don't have the strategy to keep them engaged. So by the time you get done, you got 1 or 2 people that are with you on the last day of the challenge. And then you see what I'm saying? So we don't want that. We want ways to get the right number of people in there, the ideal clients in there, and we want them to be with us the entire time of the challenge. And so once again, you want to ensure that you have those strategies in place, because I'm telling you, if they ride with you, then more than likely they're going to buy from you. Also, like I said, when it comes to that challenge, a lot of you guys, you have that sit and get mentality. And once again, you want your challenge to be interactive. You want it to be engaging. And there are ways to do that. And so I'm going to show you guys with the 5-day challenge that I'm doing. Like, we have an hour's time to be able to get the information. I'm going to show you in that hour's time. Those of you that sign up and join us, you get to see in that hour's time that literally there's going to be a healthy competition in there. I'm going to get the information to them. They're going to be able to interact and engage, all of that stuff, so they can see because that's how it is when you work with me as a coach. And so I want them to be able to get that taste of that during the challenge. And so now they get to be able to see that during these 5 days together. And so, like I said, we'll look at how, the different elements, and then you get to decide the pieces that make sense. And because you're journeying through this challenge with other people and there's accountability groups, you guys get to brainstorm and you get to bounce ideas off of each other. Once again, this all makes it interactive, engaging. People build those relationships with not just you as the host of the group, but with the other people who are a part of your challenge, right? And now imagine when they're building those relationships and those bonds with each other, that type of thing, where now they're able to, when it's time to do the sign up, that has an impact on the people who sign up. So once again, we're going to talk about all of that in the 5-day challenge that I'm doing. We're going to talk about all of that, the psychology behind all of that, and how you can leverage that, yourself with your own challenges. And then another piece too, when it comes to your challenge, and it's a fine line about giving too much information. So we touched on that a little bit earlier. So those of you, when it comes to you being able to create your own lead generation or having your own lead generation strategy, a huge part of that is you want to ensure that you cut down on the sales cycle. And so once again, from the time that people get to know you, like they come into your space, into the time that you close them as a client. And so you want to cut down on that sales cycle, because once again, the quicker you're able to build that know, like, trust factor, then once again, the quicker it will be for them to hand you the card for $5,000 or $10,000 or whatever it is the upsell is. And like I said, literally, you can do that in a 5-day challenge. You can do that in a 7-day challenge. You can do that in a 3-day challenge if you know how to structure that. Once again, so having that and being able to cut down on the sales cycle, that's important as well. And so as long as you are a coach, and I keep saying this, as long as you are an established coach, you have sold a 4-figure offer, and you have an audience, the challenge will work for you. And like I said, the way that we're going to set this up, you're going to set up and create a challenge that makes sense for you and your business model and the people that you serve. So if you're serving busy professionals, the way that your challenge is going to look a little bit different. If you're serving busy moms or if you're serving the executive, what does that look like? And so once again, even the verbiage and using the word challenge, for some of you guys, you may not even use that verbiage. So we're going to talk about all of that, because even naming your challenge makes a huge difference. There is a structure in that when it comes to even naming your challenge. And so, like I said, for a lot of you guys, when you get these final missing pieces, you're going to be like, oh my goodness, that was all that I needed. That part right there. So like I said, things all the way down to the naming convention of your challenge. We're going to talk about that as well. And then once again, when it comes to the actual offer, what is it that you're going to sell? There should be an upsell. There should be something that you're offering in your challenge. And so we're going to talk about your offer and how to align that offer with your challenge. Because sometimes one, people will offer something and it doesn't make sense for the challenge that they're doing. Or if their offer is in alignment with their challenge, they don't know how to position that offer as the next step, because once again, their challenge wasn't positioned and structured correctly. So once again, people don't see it as the reasonable next step to be able to continue working with you after those 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, however long your challenge is. So once again, the positioning of your offer is important. When you know how to position that offer, I'm telling you, you can literally have a 6-figure week if you know how to structure your offer. And with your challenge, because some people are like, well, Bev, what you mean a 6-figure week? How can I do that? So once again, if you have a $10,000 offer, well, Bev, what you mean somebody will buy a $10,000 offer from me from a $49 challenge or a $97 challenge, or however you decide to price it. We're talking about how to price your challenge and the psychology behind pricing on a challenge. And so, Bev, you mean to tell me that people can come in on a $47 challenge and invest $10,000 worth with me? Yes, if you know how to position the offer. So I'll go back to it again. If you have 50 of your ideal clients enrolled in your challenge, and you have 10 of them that sign up for your $10,000 offer, 10 times 10,000, that's a 6-figure challenge. That's a 6-figure challenge that you did. And once again, over a 5-day period. So you just had a 6-figure week. So once again, if you did that every single month, you now shifted into going from trying to create 6 figures in a year to doing 6 figures in a month. Or if you're only going to run your challenge once a quarter, now you have 6-figure quarters. You see what I'm saying? So now that sets you up. If you do $100,000, we just say $100,000 every quarter, you now have a $400,000 business based on your challenges. And so that's what I want us to get to. I want you to get to that space that every time that you launch a challenge, you're generating 5 or 6 figures in your business every time that you do that. So I want you to be able to get to that space with your challenges. And that's what this framework will allow for you to do. Okay. And then that last part, when it comes to you being able to create your lead generation strategy. Like I said, you want a lead gen strategy that is reliable. And what I mean by that, when it comes to it being reliable, you want it to be something that anytime that you launch it, you know that you're going to be able to, fill it. So fill whatever it is. So like I said, when people do webinars or master classes, so on and so forth, and in this case, challenges, once again, you want to be able to have a particular number, a particular goal of how many people you want in there, because the more that you do, you'll be able to figure out your conversion rate as well. And we'll talk about that too during the challenge. And you'll have this formula for, okay, well, how many people do I need to have in that challenge? Of that people, how many do I need to make sure that remain a part of this challenge every single day? Because like I said, I want you to be up to 40 to 70% of the people that remain with you every step of the way, because the more people you have there, the better chance you have to convert people. And then, like I said, when you have your ideal people in there, and then we're going to also talk about how to identify, even with those people who sign up who are ideal, the people who are likely to move forward and invest in your upsell. So you're going to be able to have all of that information to be able to identify all of that information from this challenge. So once again, when you do have that lead generation strategy for yourself, all of these pieces that we just talked about, one, the way that you structure it, so whether or not it's a challenge or a webinar, masterclass, whatever it is that you do, the structure of it, you have a reliable structure for it. You have a reliable way of filling it up, getting the ideal clients in there. You have a reliable way of upselling. So whatever your lead gen source is, being able to upsell in that thing. Also being able to determine how you want to do the sales, because that's another thing as well. If you don't want to do sales calls, you don't have to do sales calls. So even with the challenge, the way that you have it set up, you wouldn't have to do sales calls if you don't want to, because there's a way that you can structure that to where you can have a conversation with them in Messenger, or if you have appointment setters or people on your team, they can have a conversation with them in Messenger. And there are certain questions that you would ask, period. Or if you do decide to do sales calls, once again, you don't have to be on the sales call with them for an hour and a half. You can do 15-minute sales calls to determine whether or not they are a good fit for your program, if you know how to set it up correctly. So those are the key pieces that you want to have in your lead generation. And so, like I said, when you have those key pieces in there, it allows for you to be able to consistently not only generate the right leads, but being able to close them as well. And that's the space that I want to get us to, because I'm seeing too many established coaches with this inconsistency. And then now they're questioning whether or not, well, maybe I'm not supposed to be coaching anymore. Maybe this is not, all of this stuff like this, like you're playing this story in your head, or maybe you shouldn't be doing it anymore. And it's not that, it's that now that you got into this space of where you've been able to post and live stream and email your list and DM people to sign clients, now you need to shift into that next level, which is you establishing a reliable lead generation strategy. Now that's your next step for you. And when you are able to do that, then once again, you will notice a huge difference in being able to fill your programs. So you guys, I want to hop on here and have that conversation. Of course, you see the clickable link that's somewhere if you want to join us in the 5-day challenge, which will be the week of December the 12th through December the 16th. I would love to have you guys. If you are an established coach who sold a 4-figure offer, you have an audience, I would love to have you join us so that I can walk you through this process. And like I said, so you will be on the road to creating your 5 and 6-figure challenges, so that way you have a lead generation strategy for yourself that makes sense and that fits you and your business model. So I would love to have you join us in this challenge. Now, once again, if I'm teaching you how to have a paid challenge, and of course this is a paid challenge, like it wouldn't make sense for this challenge to be free, but I'm teaching you how to do a paid challenge. And so that's the power of having a paid challenge. You're able to generate revenue up front and then in the back end, but it's the back end revenue that you're looking to be able to close the 5 and 6 figures. It's not the front end, it's the back end. That front end fee that you have and that you set up, and we'll talk about once again how to decide what the price is. Once again, that's another gatekeeper as well, because it repels the freebie seekers, that type of thing. So we'll talk about how you determine how to price your challenge as well. Okay, so I would love to have you join us. So once again, the clickable link is somewhere, I don't know if it's above me or below me, but wherever that clickable link is, go ahead and click on the link. Once again, all the information is there. We have 2 options. You can do the general experience, and all that information is there about what you get for the general experience, and that is $47. Or if you want to do the VIP experience, that's $97. So you are certainly free to read that, get all that information there that's about it. If you need to use Afterpay, go ahead. That's fine as well. Afterpay is set up on that. If you need to break it up into payments, you can certainly do that. But once again, one of the things that I did note when you're signing up is show up. If you're going to do the challenge, show up as the type of person you would like to have in your own challenge. This goes for anything that you invest in, period, as a coach, period. But with this challenge, show up as the type of person you would like to have in your challenge, period. So if you want people to sign up for your VIP experience, sign up for the VIP experience. If you want people who are going to be active and engaged and they're doing the activities and all of that stuff like that, then show up as the person that's doing the activities, active and engaged, and all. Be the type of client you would like to have in your own challenges, and watch what happens. You will attract a different type of person because you're showing up in a different way as well. So once again, I would love to have you join us. Once again, it's 2 different experiences: the general experience, which is $47, or the VIP experience, which is $97. All of that awesome stuff. Once again, it is the week of December the 12th through the 16th. It is a live challenge, so it's not anything that's pre-recorded or anything like that. Everything is live. And like I said, I'm going to peel back the curtains, all of that stuff, so you can see exactly what it is and how it is that I've been been doing these challenges over the past 5 years. And so I'm going to reveal to you all of the ins and outs and all of that good stuff like that. So you guys, I would certainly love to have you join us. Once again, the clickable link is floating around either above or below the video, just depending upon where you're joining us from. And so I would love for you to go ahead and click on that link and join us. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I am more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. You guys, thank you so much for joining me, you guys, and I will see you on the other side of this live. Take care, take care, take care.